Hi, and welcome back to I Was Thinking with Nafees and Simone. I'm Nafees.
I woke up like this. I woke up like this. I'm tired. Ladies, sing it. I woke up like this. I woke up like this. I'm tired.
Is that a song?
That is Flawless by Beyonce.
Oh,
The fees. Don't do this to me.
that
All right.
shows you how much I listen to
No,
music
I'm not the
lately.
biggest Beyonce fan, but come on now. I'm Simone. What's up, y'all?
Welcome back, guys.
Nafisa didn't know I had that planned, by the way.
I didn't. That's why I was a little surprised.
But I am extremely tired.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about the struggles of a college student.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a majority of us have been there, no matter what type of course you're taking, no matter what you're studying for, what your major is. It's a struggle, especially,
It is.
this year with everything that's going on. Everything's been moved to online. And like for some people, that's been a good thing. And some people, not so much.
Yeah, for sure. I know I kind of struggled when everything was moved abruptly to like online education.
Yeah, especially like at the beginning of the year, we were those people that went on spring break and then they're like, okay, guys, well, we're just going to extend the spring break to 2 weeks. And the
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks happen. It's like, okay, we're just going to extend it for another week. And then they're like, okay, it's like, all right, we're just going to be online. I'm like, what?
Yeah. But I kind of expected that to happen, but not as quickly as it did.
I did, and I'm kind of glad I came home for spring break because I almost stayed to like work some extra hours at the library, but I'm like, no,
Yeah.
because like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, when's the next time I'll see my dad? Apparently, a lot. So I was like, let me just go home for spring break and I'll come back, refresh, renewed, ready to get this work done, and then
Yeah.
that completely changed.
Yeah, because I think our spring break was when the beginning of March, right?
It was the beginning of March because I remember the college I go to, they had their career fair, and that week of the career fair was like the first week of March, and then it was spring
Okay.
break.
Yeah, because I get it confused because I have like the school that I teach at, their spring break, and then like our school spring break.
Yeah, college and public school don't work on the same spring
Yeah, they're
break.
usually one after the other. I wish they actually talked to each other and like coordinated.
Didn't they used to be the same week? Or was that just too much for the school, like people to handle, so they made it separately? I don't know. So you gotta think, like, what if you're going to college and yet you have like a younger sibling that's in public school and like you have to watch them or something?
Yeah, I don't know. But from as long as I could remember, they've always been separate. Actually, I think one year they were both on the same, like during the same week.
Yeah.
But that was like back when I was in like middle school, like a long time ago.
Yeah, and every county does it differently and every state does it
Yeah,
differently. So
yeah.
it just depends.
But yeah, it was definitely like a struggle moving everything online. And I'm so glad because I know some people have like a technology issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of students may not have like the resources at home to do work.
Right.
So I'm glad our university was like really good with dealing with that.
I mean, not even just the technology. What about the people that like don't have the strongest Wi-Fi
Yeah, that's true.
or internet?
But I mean, like, they were pretty lenient, I think, as far as like the final exam, because they did give us the option of whether or not we wanted the classes that semester to count.
That's true. They did.
So that was really helpful. I'm not gonna lie, I was very close to not having my grades count because I was at like a borderline B to A. And I'm like, do I want this not to count? Because I know later on it's gonna look not as great. So I decided to go with it. Thank God. And I did really awesome on that final. So I'm like, thank God like stuck with it.
Listen, that was a struggle because I think I mentioned this in like other episodes, but it's like my last semester. So I'll be done in December. And I'm just like, I had to keep telling myself to push through it. But at the same time, like, I just not want to do anything. I'm already a really big procrastinator. And then like all this was happening. And then like you have to get used to everything that was going on, like trying to, especially in the early stages when we didn't really know what was going on. So I was just like, I can't focus on school.
Yeah.
There's so many things happening. There's a pandemic happening, and then like early May, June, like all the stuff in America was starting to happen. I was like, I'm checked out. I'm mentally checked out. but I somehow pushed through, so that's one good thing.
Did you have your grades count?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay, good, good. And like it was a pretty good deal too because if it didn't count, it didn't affect your GPA.
That's true, but like I didn't know how that would affect me since it's like my last.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time it wasn't my last semester, but I didn't know if like I would have to basically stay in school longer. I don't remember the like requirements for if you didn't have it count, what would happen in the future.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the future of that decision. So I was like, let me just go with what normally ends up happening, and I just stuck with having my grades posted.
Right. And then when they try to open up everything back up, like all my classes are basically online. So there's no point of me moving back to campus because I lived on campus. I got my AA when I was in high school. So, I was still living at home, but I didn't finish. And I went to my community college. So I was still going at home. And then, like, I took a year break before I decided to go back to school to get a bachelor's. And then that's when I moved to campus.
Oh, okay. You're still graduating on time though, so that's good.
Yeah. There are some things that I don't know if I would have gotten certain jobs if the pandemic didn't happen to where it would have pushed back my graduation, but because I don't usually take summer classes, so that's why it takes me a while.
Oh, okay.
But, didn't get them. I don't know if it was because of the pandemic or not, but so yeah, graduating early and then trying to figure out what to do with my life
Yeah.
after.
I know, like, for most programs, at least one summer semester is required. Was that the case with you? Or no?
I don't think so because I had my AA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think it was because I had my associates and I transferred. That requirement was like kind of settled. Like if you take, 2 years of a foreign language in high school, you don't have to take it in college.
Right, right.
So it was something like that.
But I think, because I remember us talking a lot about this, about your internship and how you were so worried to get that done with, but I think you were pretty lucky as far as that was concerned, right?
Yeah, at least for this time.
Because I know for my program too, they do have the option of if you want to do your internship online. And honestly, I'm thinking I might just do that just because of how things are playing out.
Well, I don't know how your college is doing it because, like, with mine, even during the summer and now, they're being more lenient on if you can't find an internship and having like
Yeah.
alternative assignments you can do if you just like can't find a job at all, even if it's like volunteer or like non-paying. Because mine had to be paid, but now they kind of like are more lenient on it.
Oh, mine from the beginning was a non-paid internship. Like they tell you from the get-go.
Oh, see, I mean that's a little less stressful, I feel like, than trying to find
Yeah.
something that is paid or at least basically a job.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't going to look down. Like if you found an internship that was paid, it was still fine, but they were aiming for basically a non-paid internship. I think like you said because it's easier.
Yeah. I mean, we already pretty much talked about what we're going to school for, but I guess we should re-elaborate for people who don't know.
So I'm getting my master's in health administration. So that basically deals with the business side of healthcare, not necessarily like the clinical side. So that's more of like your manager, your project managers, and things like that.
So, what do you want to do with that, like, once you're done?
So my idea, so I was a bit ambitious because I wanted to start my own company, like a healthcare company, but I just wasn't sure like in what. But I'm more leaning towards like policy changes. So working with government people to bring
Oh, that's
about like
interesting.
healthcare. Yeah, I really enjoy that topic because to be honest, our healthcare is such a mess right now and it needs help. So I want to help.
Yeah. Do you not see how we're handling this pandemic right now?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I could go on and on about the healthcare system here, but we can save that for another episode if you want.
I don't know. I get, like, worried about talking about stuff I don't know that well, so.
The thing is, though, with the healthcare system here is that we have so many examples that we could use
Mm-hmm.
to better ourselves, but because we're so corporate in everything that we do, like money comes first, whether we like to say it or not, it does. Like if this hospital is not making money, if it's not making a profit, it's not going to do half the things it does. And like I just feel like the patient should come first in most of
Yeah.
these instances.
Well, that's good. And that sounds like a really cool, like, career to help move
Yeah.
us forward as not only as people, but a society.
Uh-huh. So I'm looking into like internships and jobs like that for now. But yeah.
So, do you think you would be able to do that if you weren't getting your master's? So, like, do you think going to graduate school for this type of topic you're learning about is worth it, or no? You think you could have just done with the bachelor's?
I think if my bachelor's was in healthcare, I would have definitely had an easier time finding a job in healthcare because that's also pretty difficult nowadays too.
That's true. What's your bachelor's in? Is it something different?
Biomedical sciences.
It still has to do with science.
But it's not the same thing. It's like completely different.
Okay. See, like I said, I don't know. So,
Yeah, biomedical sciences has to do more with like the tech side and like the sciencey side of healthcare.
okay.
Yeah, so health administration is more of like the business side.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they are a bit different. But yeah, with my undergrad, I wouldn't have been able to. I would have, but it wouldn't have been an easy route, if that makes sense.
Right. It would have been one of those things where you had to work your way up,
Yeah, so with this
basically.
master's, it's easier for me to work my way up because I already have the knowledge to go with the experience. The only thing that's stopping me from going up is the experience, basically. Like, I don't have that right now.
Gotcha. That's understandable, though.
Yeah. But I think if people who did do health administration as their undergrad and they went directly to like an entry level position, they wouldn't have such a hard time moving up. Because just like any corporate job, you don't really need like a graduate level degree. You just need experience. But if you do end up getting the grad degree, it just pushes you a little higher.
Yeah, that's like one of those things where you kind of question, like, as we move forward and like how a lot of things are available online, is like stuff like that really still truly worth it? I know that's like
Yeah.
that's a topic that could be like debated for a very long time, but
Yeah, for sure. Like I know a lot of people because health administration, the degree I'm doing is very very similar to business administration.
yeah.
So like an MBA, and I know like a lot of people with MBAs who are not where they expected themselves to be.
Or where they wanted to be.
Yeah, so it's really I don't know, it's like a hit or a miss, I think.
Yeah, because like what you were saying with your bachelor's, that's something more like with the tech side. So I feel like you do need to go to school for that. But like when it comes to like business administration and stuff like that, it's one of those weird topics. Like, I mean, do you really need to go to school for this? Or is it something you can teach yourself if you're diligent enough? That's another thing too. Like if you have the patience and the mindset to teach yourself this stuff, or if you just have really good friends to help you that know about it.
No, I think you can definitely teach yourself business topics. Like, honestly, it's not hard. If you just look up the syllabus, the textbooks that they use, and you are diligent enough to read up on it on your own, you don't need a class to tell you. Because let me tell you, these grad classes is just essay upon discussion post upon replies. Like, it's just that. So, I mean, minus that, I mean, you'll still be fine.
Yeah.
It's just a lot less work, I guess, and a lot less money.
Are you going to be writing this many essays in the real field?
No, not really. I don't think so. But I guess it's just a way to integrate the information that you learn. I don't mind the discussion posts, but it just is kind of annoying when they expect you to like really go deep into it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just a discussion post. I should not have to waste so much time.
Or like when you have to at least reply to like 3 other people. It's not like they're going to read this.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. Like 3 other people? Come on now.
They're not going to read this. I don't even read if anyone replies to me. I don't think anyone does because I do discussion posts so late.
Yeah, I get replies, but that's only because they have to reply. So it's like...
exactly.
It's cute that you think we're having a conversation, but in reality, we're not.
We're just like, okay, this paragraph seems like something I can reply to. Let me just quickly get my 100 words in.
Yeah, for real. Honestly, I look for like the shortest discussion post and I find like a subsection of it and I just respond to like those 2 sentences, whatever that I've read.
Same.
Like I don't have time to sit there and read a whole discussion post. Like I have other things to do.
Honestly.
But you know how you were mentioning how some degree programs are like worth it and some are not. So I looked it up and apparently the jobs that make grad school worth it are basically anything with the medical field.
I mean, that makes completely sense. I do not want someone operating on me and they don't have some type of teaching like with a professional.
Yeah.
I don't care if you taught yourself this or not. So you say. I need to see a degree.
Definitely the medical field. So, like your dentist, your podiatrist, your physician, your nurse.
I would also assume something like environmentalist too.
I guess.
Any type of science job, basically.
Yeah.
Science and math.
Yeah. I see engineering here too. So if someone wanted to get... The thing with engineering, though, a lot of people are okay with just a bachelor's because they really do train you well.
Engineering still kind of confuses me because I don't actually know what an engineer is. Like, I hear the word engineering, but isn't that used for, like, so many different things? Like, you can be an engineer in almost, like, anything.
Pretty much. Actually, let me look up the definition of engineer. So a person who designs, builds, or maintains engines, machines, or public works. So basically anyone that can like build and design things.
Yeah, you can literally be an engineer in like almost any type of field pretty much.
Yeah, but that is a degree that's worth having if you're able to get through the 4 or 5 years.
It takes 4 to 5 years to be an engineer, like to study for it?
Yeah, because it's your undergrad. Yeah, you would just major in engineering as an undergrad student. And also like attorneys.
I feel like officials should know about the law.
Yeah, that would help.
When making decisions for like millions and millions of people's lives.
Yeah. But I also heard too that like any sort of graduate level and above, so like master's or doctorate in the medical field is the best return of investment. So the amount of money it takes for you to go through schooling, once you start working, you're making much more than what you invested in school. That makes sense.
No, that does, and that's good because I mean, medical school is expensive.
It is so expensive, yeah. It's more expensive if you try to go to the Caribbean or something. Like, it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, Caribbean medical school is like 3 times more expensive than U.S. medical school.
I hear it's really good though.
It depends.
Isn't it a lot better?
No. U.S.
No?
medical school is definitely better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most people that don't get into med school here end up going to like the Caribbean.
So is it like second best in a way?
In a way, yeah.
I didn't know that.
But even that's kind of tricky because you don't want to go to a school that is not accredited, because with like med school, there's like these accreditations that a school has to have in order for anyone that graduates from that school to be eligible to even become a physician. So it's like you have to make sure you're going to the right school because you don't want to end up at a scam school and then have it shut down 2 years
right
into you going to school. That would be very tragic.
Yeah, and being in a lot of debt.
I cannot imagine like going to school for 2 years and then being in debt for those 2 years. And then that school just doesn't exist anymore. It's like, okay, what did I do here?
It's hard.
That's when you reroute your life and you actually reflect and like redecide if you really want to go through with this.
Right. Tragic all the way around. Well, my degree learning is a lot different from Nafees's. Where she's like more in like the government and like health. I'm like on the entertainment side. So my degree is called entertainment management, kind of like yours. It's trying to teach me the business side of entertainment, and it's so broad. So it's not like just one specific thing. So it's not like specifically events, it's not specifically music. It's a little bit of everything. So it's kind of just like a broad gist of every aspect of entertainment and try to learn how to basically be like some type of manager or like higher position. So I don't really know like the technical side of things, but like I'm supposed to know how to operate and run stuff and like make sure things go through on a business side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then where my degree is taught is in a hospitality school, which I thought was interesting, but like when you actually start learning about it, it kind of makes sense because you work with a lot of people. So you do kind of need to learn how to be more hospitable. I think you do. I think it actually does really help.
Especially in entertainment, though, because you don't want to make enemies.
Oh, no. And one thing people don't understand, the entertainment world is so small. You do not want to make enemies or you will never work in this industry.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be real.
Yeah.
Like, that is one easy thing where if you make just one enemy and you don't know what that enemy is, they can be like someone so powerful, you might as well just find another job.
Yeah. It can be scary, too. It's like you may not even intend it to offend the person, but there you go. Enemy has been made.
Yeah. And it's like, it's also one of those things where it's a little scary because I'm going to be honest, I think the entertainment industry is really good at showing the glamorous side, but you don't make a lot of money.
Oh, really?
No, it's I don't care what you're doing. It's really hard unless you're like one of those big corporations like Disney or something. But it's like the higher ups, the CEOs that are making the money, not like, the people that are actually putting on shows. It just depends on your position.
Yeah.
But like it is, I wouldn't say a struggling business, but you just have to learn how to budget.
Hmm.
And that's for anything. That's for music, that's for film, that's for like events. It's not a cash grab, money making type business that people assume it is.
Which position do you think is like the most difficult in entertainment?
That just depends what type of field you go into, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
There's not really like a specific position that I can think of or type of job where I can say it's the most difficult, especially someone who's not really in the field right now. It's not easy. It's not easy getting into this field. It's not easy making money in this field. I picked a struggling field, but like, I do like helping people out. And I like entertainment. Like, I grew up watching a lot of TV. It's just something that brings me joy.
Yeah.
So I just want to share that joy with other people.
Right. What did you say you wanted to do in entertainment?
I don't even know anymore at this point, to be honest. Like, initially, it was to work in, like, the film industry.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. Kind of leaning more towards, like, graphic design, but I kind of need to brush up more on that.
Gotcha.
Because when I was a kid and I didn't really pursue it because obviously the struggles of like people going to art school, I wanted to be an animator.
Oh, okay.
Because I really like to draw.
You could still do it.
I drew our cover page, people.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So I need to brush up more on it and like maybe learn more about like web developing in general because of everything that's been going on. I kind of like want to have one of those jobs where it's remote.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the easiest thing for remote.
Mm-hmm.
And it could still be used like for entertainment. Like I can be like some type of social media coordinator or like help on marketing. So it just depends. Definitely been trying to draw more.
Yeah, I hope you figure it out though.
Thanks. I hope I do too. Because I really don't know what I'm going to do after graduation.
I mean, you still have time. I mean, even after graduation, you have time, so. And also, like you said, now that everything is moving towards like remote work, I don't think you'll have like an issue finding something pretty quickly. Hopefully.
I mean, like in our Zodiac episode, next year is the year of the ox. It's supposed to be my year, so I'm just gonna hope for something, and it just something entry level in the field because I don't want to take a step backwards, even though I kind of might have to make money.
Yeah.
And just get like a regular like retail job or something, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, most people do that. They have that job and then they're working towards whatever it is they're working towards.
Yeah, I'm just afraid knowing how I am. I get a job like that and I just want to make sure I don't get too comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And feel like I didn't waste my money going to school and then, yeah.
I don't think anyone will ever get comfortable working in retail, honestly. I've heard horror stories.
Listen, I worked in retail for 2 years. That can be another episode.
I've heard horror stories of retail.
It has definitely taught me to like treat people nicer. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And like when I go into stores, I make sure I make a conscious effort to fold these things. Like if I unfolded a shirt, I will fold it back for you because I understand the struggle.
Yeah.
Or like to make sure if someone's helping me, I make sure I say thank you. Or like even if I don't need their help, I'll be like, no, thank you. But like, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I know you're doing your job, but
yeah,
hope you're having a good day.
I have quite a few friends who worked in retail, who still work in retail. And they're like, yeah, I don't see myself here for very long.
It's not one of those jobs where it's supposed to be long lasting anyway.
Yeah. But there are people that do end up moving up to like a manager and then like they keep moving up.
You can move up, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Because I like clothes. I don't like clothes that much. So what about your workload though?
My workload? Honestly,
yeah, like for
so
a grad
much.
student. I mean, you just said you do a bunch of essays, but
honestly, that's like the gist of it. Like the workload is so much more lighter. Like I feel like I can breathe honestly when I have these classes. Yeah, it's busy.
Really?
It's busy, but it's not overwhelming. With undergrad, I was like well, to be fair, my degree was one of the hardest at my university.
I was gonna say, and I think it also depends what type of field you're like studying
Yeah,
for.
it definitely depends on the field. But like in my experience, my undergrad was like very cutthroat. Like I felt so stressed every single day. But like with this, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like that's what I tell anyone whenever they ask.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, this is doable. Like I came from a very hard undergrad degree program. This is nothing. Like essays, I can handle a few essays. I mean, granted, they are annoying to do,
Right.
but it's not like super difficult work.
And like my field, because I am in a hospitality school, they do offer master classes, but that's for hospitality. And like if you're going into hotels and stuff, there's no point of me really doing a master class or a master degree. But my friend, once she's done, because she was kind of like me in the same boat, just because I feel like I've been in school for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do like when I'm not in school. Like it feels weird. So she actually went to grad school for like TV production.
Oh.
So that's what she's doing right now.
Does she have a job in TV production?
Not a job right now, but she's like just getting her master's in it.
Oh, okay. So she's still studying. Okay.
To probably like be like a producer and things
Gotcha.
like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm happy for her. Don't know if I can do that. I say like I don't know what I'm going to do after school, but I don't think I can get a master's. My brain capacity can't handle it right now. If there's stuff I want to learn, I feel like I can learn online. There's like tons of free classes you can do.
Yeah, I think a lot of programs now offer like certifications where you don't have to do like a whole degree, but you can just take a few classes and get certified in a particular area. That's very popular nowadays.
They started doing that a lot when the pandemic first hit for people.
Yeah, I know like a lot of schools for that are actually popping up where they have like a 1-year program where you can be certified on whatever it is.
Our school offers that. You don't have to be a student, but they have like some online classes you can take for just like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And get like a certificate.
Super expensive though.
Yeah, but compared to going to like 2 to 3 years, possible of taking out loans, paying for like 4 classes a semester.
That's true. I feel like money-wise, though, there's so much more options with undergrad. Like, you have scholarships, you have Bright Futures. That's also a scholarship, too, right?
That's a Florida-only scholarship. Yeah. And I didn't have Bright Futures. I had Florida Prepaid, though, which is something, like, your families can start, like, when you're really young. So that's what my parents did. They, like, gradually put money into a Florida Prepaid account. So when I started school... And they have different plans too. So like if your student's going to go out of state, in state, do like community college and then go to a university, and then they draw out like certain amount of money and then you just pay for the rest. Oh. That's actually how I got through school. And I know my dad was really adamant about not taking out loans. It was annoying, but like I thank him for that because once I'm done with school and I graduate, I won't have like any student loans.
That is amazing. Very few people can say that.
Exactly. So even though he like nagged me about it, just because he's my dad, I am very thankful for that.
No, I took out loans only because I was grateful during undergrad because I had enough scholarships to cover my tuition and stuff like that. And then there's also the FAFSA money that they give you.
Yeah, and FAFSA too. So like the grants.
So I had all of that and I still would have some left over, so I would get like a refund. But I did take out loans for the summer semesters only because it wouldn't be enough. Because with my degree program, I had to take summer classes in order for me to remotely finish on time. So
like all the time, did you have to take summer classes or at least one semester? Because even when I transferred, the requirement was at least one semester in summer, or is your program you have to always
No, it's just one semester too. But the thing is, they have so many requirements. So you end up taking 2 semesters, at least 2 summer semesters.
I mean, that makes sense. And I know a lot of people take it because they're faster, like compared to a regular semester, which is 12 weeks. Summers are usually 6 weeks, or you can do like summer C.
Yeah, they're also easier too. Yeah. I really enjoyed summer classes only because it's easier. I felt like I had easier access to my professors and parking was never an issue. And then fall semester would come back and then you have all these extra people. It's like, oh yeah.
Right. But yeah, college.
It's great. If you know what you're doing.
Great when you know what you're doing. And then I remember like when the pandemic kind of started, there was a lot of debate on like if college is really worth it anymore because everyone was talking about how in a way, since we spend so much money, college has become just like a thing where almost like a rite of passage where like, you know, people leave home, they go out, they party, and like since we're all stuck at home, college doesn't seem worth it anymore.
I think it's still worth it.
So what do you think on that? Yeah.
Only because there are definitely fields that are very competitive. Let's say 10 years, 15 years back, just being a high school graduate was the requirement. I don't know if you remember this, but a long time ago, just being...
I'm not that young, Nafees. Yes, I know, it was.
But that was it, though.
Okay.
It was like you had to be a high school graduate in order to move forward with anything. But like nowadays, everyone expects you to have a bachelor's.
Yeah.
So for some fields, it is kind of still cutthroat where you are required to have those degrees. But like with other fields, it's not really that big of a requirement. You can still do well, as long as if you have the technical experience to go with it.
I feel like a lot of state schools, which are like community colleges, but now I think they're calling themselves state schools. They're offering a lot more too, to where you can either get a bachelor's there or you'll be fine with like an AA or like a special degree. So like a associate of science and like specialty track programs, or like even technical school if you're just like going to go learn like how to fix cars or be a plumber, which people don't realize those actually make a lot of money.
They do.
We would have looked down on them because of the type of job they are, but like you can make some good money.
Yeah, especially if you own your own company.
Yeah.
You make good money.
This is one of those things where we have to get rid of like the stereotypes. At the end of the day, a job is a job.
Yeah.
So like we're all just here to try to survive.
Exactly.
So I'm thankful that I went to college just because I don't think what I want to do, I'd be able to do it without it. I mean, like I said, entertainment's so broad. There's those lucky peoples with platforms like TikTok now and YouTube that can do that. But like, I'm so shy and I don't want to be in front of the camera. I like doing stuff behind the scenes. So I kind of feel like it was a good option. Plus, too, I feel like it broadened my job, like opportunities, learning the business side. I won't say I'm like the smartest person, but like learning the business side of stuff like that does interest me.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, like a few years ago, if anyone were to ask me if I wanted to do health admin as a degree, I would have been like, no, that's not what I'm interested. But I don't know, the older I got, I was like, okay, maybe I should learn more about like finances and how insurance works and things like that. So I'm very grateful for this program because I do get to learn about all that stuff in depth.
I mean, I used to want to be a vet until like senior year of high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I really like animals, so...
Yeah.
And then I realized I don't think I can just go to school for that long. And I like learning medical terms, but like they were just really confusing me. And I realized that in like 11th grade when I took anatomy. So it was just a lot of information I didn't think I could handle. So, and then I took a risk because like I knew I wanted to do something in entertainment, but like it's one of those things where you hear people say like it's not a real job, or like if you go to school for it, it's not really a real degree. So I will prove them wrong once I'm there. Once I'm a millionaire, Bella, stop staring at me.
You have to get there first, though.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog, like, when I started getting louder, she was staring at me. My dog has an attitude problem.
Oh. But yeah, I think grad school is all right. Not too bad.
That's good. So at the end of the day, college is whatever you make it.
Yeah, just like anything in life. It's whatever you make it.
Pretty much. So, while we're on the topic of school, I don't know why I thought it was a great idea to also try to learn another language on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, me and Nafees both are, but we're learning Korean, and it's interesting. I haven't really studied as much just because I'm at the last semester, so I'm kind of like trying to make sure I finish.
Yeah.
So like when the classes happened that got moved online, I'm like, I don't mind if he calls on me to read a sentence, but like I can't sit there and try to decipher a sentence or make a sentence just because I haven't studied. Yeah. So I'm like, don't call on me, please.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, I found a cute video I thought I should play.
All right, so what video did you want to talk about?
So because we're into K-pop, it's like a weird, different universe. So a lot of like K-pop groups do these like variety things, I guess, like for their fans to like get to know them and their personality, because that's like one of the really big things there. And like BTS has one called Run BTS. That's kind of how I really got invested in them. And so they just started back up again, and I was like, yes, my Tuesdays are saved. So this one, they're like pretending they're in school and like they're playing all sorts of games. And this particular one is like episode 112. I highly recommend people to go watch it. So like you understand why I find comfort in this and find it funny. So it's basically a grammar game that they're playing, and Jin is the teacher. So he's like holding up some type of board with a Korean sentence on it, and there's a word that's highlighted. So the other guys have to figure out if the word that's highlighted is spelled correctly or not. And just watching them like, okay, so I don't feel too bad with my studies because they were getting stuff wrong. So I even feel like that's here in like English too. There's some words I like have no idea how to spell, but like I heard it forever. It's all the same. I did like a brief translation because I'm assuming no one is going to understand them because they're going to be speaking obviously in Korean. So real quick, if you want to go online and find this video, it's about like 40 minutes long, but I highly recommend watching the whole thing because like these guys are so funny. And real quick, I just want to shout out to everyone that works behind the scenes of like Run BTS and like all the variety. I hope y'all are getting paid the money that you deserve because you guys make it 10 times funnier with the like funny edits and like it's just great.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope they're all getting paid their worth.
I hope so too.
But anyway, you gotta shout out the people behind the scenes sometimes, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So when it starts, Jin's gonna hold it up and the sentence, I'm reading the translations. Obviously, there's English subtitles, so you guys can read that when you watch the video yourself. But he holds it up and the sentence says, J-Hope frowned, and frowned is the one that's highlighted that they need to know if it's spelled right or not, as he saw a bug pass by him. And that's obviously in Korean. So they have these little paddles. One side is a 0 and the other side is an X. The circle means if it's spelled correctly, and then the X means no, it's not spelled correctly or it's wrong. Then you're just going to hear them bicker back and forth. And then when it's time for them to like lift it up, they all lift it up. So the two members in the back is Jungkook and Jin. One's in the middle is Namjoon/RM, J-Hope. The ones in the front is Taeyoung and Suga, and I'm saying that from when you watch it left to right.
Hey guys, Simone here real quick. In future episodes, I promise I will get it right the first time and stop having to come in from the future and put it into the episode later. But I realized when I was talking about the members, I accidentally said Jin, and I meant Jimin. So if you actually go and watch the video, the one who's sitting next to Jungkook is Jimin, not Jin. Jin is the one playing the teacher, and everyone else is the student. So yeah, that was my bad. That was my mistake. We're all human. I mess up sometimes. I know for a fact, I think I thought I said Jimin, and it could have been one of those times where I think sometimes I mumble when I speak, especially if I'm really excited. Yeah, Jimin. It's Jimin, not Jin. I am so sorry. I'm so bad at myself. I made a mistake like that. But anyway, let's continue on.
So they all lift it up, and Jungkook holds up an O, but then he sees RM's answer because he's sitting right in front of him. And Namjoon's supposed to be like the really smart one in the group, and you'll see that like if you start following them. So he quickly changes it to an X. And then everyone's bashing on him at first because he's like, you're cheating. And then no one does anything about it. But the funny thing is they both got it wrong. And Taeyoung actually got the answer right. So Jungkook actually starts getting up and like beating up RM playfully. Like, you had the wrong answer, even though he technically had it right the first time. But he changed it. And then RM just starts speaking in English, pretending he doesn't know Korean. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. I just find it funny. So let's play it real quick because Nafees hasn't seen this, but I have.
Okay.
Get it. 갑시다. Okay, alright, get it. Okay, 최민씨 다 읽었어요? 새로로 들었어. 다 읽었어요? 다 읽었어요? 네.
I can't stand them.
나는 이거. 오케이. 가자. 하나, 둘, 셋. 들어. 오케이.
See?
오케이.
Yeah. That's clever.
이제 바로 이렇게 들어서. 자, 들었어요. OXX. 아니 이거 X야. 아니 눈살이죠 눈살. 솔직히 저 보고 쌀. 아니 내 보고 바로 이렇게 이거. 잘못 든 거야. 눈살. 이런 식으로 나오면 안 되죠. 자, 솔직히 좀.
You tell him he shouldn't cheat, but you let him cheat.
X. 정답 5입니다.
That is so funny.
Look at Taylor.
틀렸다고.
No joke, you're wrong.
야, sorry?
Sorry?
우리는 만장일치 오였어. 만장일치. 공부 잘하고 나가. I don't understand.
Oh my god.
This is why you don't cheat, guys.
This is why you don't cheat, because you might have the answer right. And then you just hear the rest of the members like dying in the background. But yeah, just because it was related to school, I thought that was a cute clip to play.
Yeah,
Oh, they bring me such joy.
that is so funny.
Again, I highly recommend watching the whole episode. It's called Run BTS, and that is episode 112. So yeah, go check that out. Any closing thoughts, Nafees?
Not really. This was a good discussion, though.
It was a good discussion. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to today's episode. I'm not going to lie. This one took us a while because we kept messing up. I have the giggles for some reason.
It's okay.
Yeah, thanks. I'm only human, you know? All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to today's episode. You can find us everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and to subscribe anywhere that you're listening to us. Shout out to Sam, our editor, for editing all our episodes, and our social media coordinator. You can follow us on social media at I Was Thinking Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And if you have any questions, comments, or topics you think we should talk about, email us at iwasthinkingpod@gmail.com.
Thanks, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.